W-T-L.
It's time!
W-T-L.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show.
W-T-L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. And we got a banger, JaBron.
Oh, yeah.
I'm joined by JaBron, the parlay pounder.
You got it.
You had to make this one.
Yeah, of course.
You couldn't be in
It's
Kansas
the
City.
Super Bowl.
There we go. And we had to bring out, our secret weapon.
J.O.,
the
baby.
Big guns, J.O. Jeremy.
Yeah.
Bringing back the Budweiser commercials.
It's the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl, baby.
Hey, now that Shane Gillis is on board with Bud Light, I'm on board, right?
There
you
you
go.
go. Post Malone, Shane Gillis. I'm
Yep.
drinking Bud Light for the
There
game
we
for
go.
sure.
100%.
Everything's under the bridge. I'm back on board.
Yeah, back on board.
Anheuser, you did it.
You
And
did it.
Anheuser is back they've spent the most money of anybody
Yeah.
in the big game this year, so
Yep.
they are back as well.
Hey.
They figured it out.
They're supporting the
You
Super
need
Bowl.
the Talking Frogs and
Clydesdales.
Clydesdales, all that stuff. That'll be fun.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
Put Post Malone on one, you're going to be good to go.
So we are talking Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and that's going to consume everything. It is the wildest game on the planet
Biggest
as far
game.
as the betting. There's like over 1,000 lines that you can find to bet
Insane.
on in this one,
Insane.
and we'll get into some of those.
Yeah.
But I thought we would just start kind of easy here. We'll just kind of ease into this one and kind of talk some first half totals here.
Yeah.
Latest line I just saw was 23.5 is your over, under is your total. And Jeremy, we'll start with you because there's a case to be made really either way here.
Yeah, well, the beauty of the big game is that a lot of these players is their first time,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the Chiefs, obviously,
Yeah.
we know that they have history.
Not on the red
Third
side.
time in a row, right? But there's nerves, okay?
Oh, big time
There
nerves.
is a history of teams coming out slow
Yeah.
because of the nerves, because
Right.
of the energy, because of the longer waits. Like,
For
this
sure.
is
Yeah. Couple
routines
weeks.
are out of place,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
It would be easy to say that the under would be the way to go then
Yeah.
in that regard
Could
because there
say
is
that.
some nerves. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's where I'm leaning at first, just because
You like the under there.
everybody's a little shaky when you start the football game.
Yeah, and we have seen it before where teams come out a little tight and they play close to the vest. They want to see what the defense is going to give them.
Right.
JaBron, where are you at?
Well, the one thing that I really like about this line is that I like both of these offenses a lot, especially against these defenses. So I really do believe the over is where I would go, but I just probably want to see a good Super Bowl and a high-scoring Super Bowl. The thing that I really like, even not just about the over, but the spread in itself is -1 towards the Chiefs, correct, for the first half.
Yep.
The Eagles have scored the first touchdown each of their last 8 games, so they are a start fast, run the ball, get that first drive going, get points on the board. The Eagles have won the first quarter in each of their last 5 games against a team that's had a winning record, so they win that every time, and they've won the first half in each of their last 12 games.
Yeah.
They
Holy
win
cow.
the first half.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are, I think, the complete opposite. They just don't care
Right.
until the fourth quarter starts.
Right.
They care, obviously, but like they don't really turn it up until the second half of game. So I really like the Eagles' first half. I really
Well,
think
they're a team that doesn't feel the moment. Like, it isn't too big for them.
Well,
They've been there.
They're just here, a couple of years ago.
just a couple years ago, lost the Chiefs, trying to revenge this, trying to revenge it. But it is kind of cool that we're seeing 2 teams that have been here have won
Right.
Super Bowl recently. Chiefs obviously going for 3 in a row, but these are 2 teams that aren't scared of the moment. So I believe for that reason, the Eagles win the first half and that over hits.
I think I like the over too, and I think the Chiefs are going to help them get there. I think the Chiefs alone sitting at about a 10.5 right now,
Yeah.
team total. I like the over on that because there's a couple different ways to get there. First off, is there anyone better in the game than Andy Reid with those scripted
Definitely not.
opening drives?
Definitely not.
And if
maybe the Eagles, but
maybe
but
the Eagles.
that's just like
Yeah.
give the ball to Saquon and he's going to score.
Right.
That's pretty good. Give the ball to Mahomes and he's going to figure it out. as
And
well.
and if Worthy hits a big play or whatever, and let's say he gets a 50-yarder, well, now Andy Reid can go off script and save that script for the next drive. So,
Correct.
And you're also playing in a dome, down in New Orleans. So you got Butker back.
You do.
So here we go. We can get there with a touchdown, a couple field goals, and I get that over.
Yeah.
Team total for Kansas City, and everything you just said there with the Eagles, I believe in that too. And the Chiefs' defense have been on a decline. You know, statistically, they're still
Show up when they need to.
Right. Yep.
Blitz
Right.
packages when they need to.
Yep.
Don't show it all game until they really, really need it. And then Chris Jones is just kind of that type of player. He's like, okay, it's time to make money. It's sack time. So no, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm on the over. I love both the team overs in the first half, both at 10.5. I love both of them.
Well, it's kind of been the Chiefs all season. It's the big guys, the big names, the guys that are making the money step up when they
Make
have
the
to.
plays.
Right? It's not anything, out there that's just over the top, but they make them enough when they have to.
Yeah, so you might be onto something with Philadelphia winning the first half because that's a plus money bet right now at a minus 1.5, plus 1.5 for the Eagles, and then 23.5. Have we talked you into the over then, Jeremy?
Absolutely not. I'm 100%.
That's good.
But you know what?
That's good. You were not changing your mind.
It's funny though because when you look at like the trends of the last 4 or 5 years, it has been under. There's one Super Bowl game that is the outlier, and it was Kansas City versus Philly. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I want to slim down just to the first quarter, Andy.
Okay, let's do it.
Really, with the Philadelphia Eagles, their over-unders under 3.5 points. I believe that they'll score a touchdown in the first quarter. So I am smacking that first quarter bet for the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that they score on their first possession, and I don't think it's going to be a field goal.
Yeah, and they have just been a juggernaut running the football, and everyone knows what they're going to do, but they can't stop them.
They can't stop them. Even if it's not Saquon, they get within 5 yards. Yeah, you're not going to stop them.
Yeah, and we'll get into player props in a later segment. But that Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown looks pretty good, and the
Saquon
odds
is too.
Well, Saquon is.
You have to bet it up to 2 or 3 if you want Saquon.
Right, and that's where I was going to go with it. Is his odds are where they're at, where they should be,
correct?
And Jalen's right on his heels, so you're getting a lot better value there. Yeah. Do you like the Eagles going over there?
Yeah, I like the Eagles going over. I mean, they're going to score a touchdown. I mean, they just
First
have the, they've got the key players that are going to be involved in the game plan instantly that are going to overcome the Chiefs' defense. But I like the idea with the run, though. Yeah. If you can find the first play of the game, run or pass, run hits 4 out of the last 5 years, and this is a run-first offense, like, why wouldn't you make some early money quick?
Even if the Chiefs get the ball, it's probably going to be a run.
It's going to be a run,
It's probably going to be, Kareem or Pacheco, whichever way they go with it.
Yeah.
But, it's been real good to see the reemergence of A.J. Brown as well for the Philadelphia Eagles, because everybody's like, well, they're not going to win the Super Bowl if they don't get their number one receiver going. Uh-oh. He's going.
Right.
Time to go. So, I mean, I just think they are clicking. Both offenses are just so good in this. It's going to be a lot of points, I believe.
Yeah, and you can also get into some pretty zany ones like first down by who, and flip a coin, right? Is it who wins the coin toss, which we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
But is it going to be Jalen Hurts on a quarterback keeper, third and short, or are they going to hand the ball off? Is it going to be Saquon on a big run, first play of the game?
There is books out there that have a plus 1,400 for Jalen Hurts converting that first down.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. How many guys in the box going after Saquon?
Yeah.
Maybe a tush push.
Or maybe even just a, little, end around.
Why wouldn't he be the first down?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
To me, he's the first option. There's good money to be made.
But, again, you saw it last week against the Commanders. Just hand it to Saquon. He'll take it for 80 yards. Doesn't matter. Done it 2 weeks in a row in the playoffs. But, you guys talking about first touchdown or whatever, on one of the books that we follow or whatever, it's called the Big Four bet. And will it be the Big Four that score the first touchdown? They're talking Saquon, they're talking Kareem Hunt, they're talking Travis Kelce, they're talking A.J. Brown. It's a plus money bet right now that one of those 4 guys cross the line, and I think that's a pretty dang good bet. But the wrench in there is Jalen Hurts and Patty.
Yeah.
Patty gets close to the, now he's going in. He is on a mission, Patrick Mahomes, to win this Super Bowl.
Yep.
He gets close. You saw it in the AFC Championship, taking 2 in himself.
Yeah.
If he gets close, he's going to take it in. So I love Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown as well. That we'll get to.
Yeah. Well, and that's a fantastic point. And not only has his rushing yards gone up last 2 games, playoff games, but his designed runs have tremendously gone up. And he did not run the ball at all, like you guys were talking about.
It's crunch time.
Man, you brought up just the most amazing point, because I've been looking at Mahomes and the Chiefs kind of as a season whole. Yeah. And I haven't been impressed. They're like
they're
in the Super Bowl.
They lost 2 games, idiots.
Yeah. But when you watch the game, like they don't
Forfeited
look.
one.
Yeah.
So you start looking at Mahomes in the playoffs. It does look like it matters more this year, than really anybody.
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah,
It's his legacy game. It's
Yeah.
it's literally, this could put him on the level of, probably past Montana and right below Tom Brady.
Brady?
Or maybe even,
Whoa.
with recency bias, people are going to call him the GOAT no matter what.
Yep.
Just, even if he probably loses this, he's in the conversation.
He's in it.
But if he wins this, he is literally, there's only one conversation you can have, and it's Tom Brady.
I mean, he would obviously
That's
be. I mean, he'd be better than Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman almost won 3 in a row, but he couldn't do it. He just couldn't quite do it.
He's almost
Poor
as
Troy.
good as Troy Aikman. That was the point that I was going to get to.
Yeah. I knew, I could tell where you were getting at with the three-peat talk and,
Yes,
and
sir.
comparing quarterbacks.
But no, I believe that is going to be a not so sought after bet. People aren't looking at that right now, but I believe it gets closer to Sunday. People are going to be like, oh, yeah, that guy's going in the end zone for sure.
Yeah. I do think some Patrick Mahomes prop bets will probably be going through the roof Sunday morning, no doubt about
I
it.
agree.
All righty, well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
T L.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great, and England okay, and France terrible.
T L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And we got the J.O. Jeremy.
Man, I'm feeling like full of hot dogs and pizza.
That's
and
how we do it.
Chicken wings, like the
Chicken
Super
wings.
Bowl, baby.
Super
I'm
Bowl,
ready.
baby.
All right. Hey, real quick, your podcast, it's getting big.
Yeah.
I mean, you're ranked week in and week out. I mean, the power rankings, like NFL, you're like number one spot now.
Yeah, Laugh With Me podcast. We are cruising right along, man. Like, this is pretty cool. Top 200 comedy charts on iTunes.
Nice.
And we're in the midst of a big season 3. So, it's been awesome.
Sweet.
Love that.
Yeah, so check it out. If you haven't seen or been on there yet, give it a subscribe, a sub. Give it a sub.
Give me the sub.
Give it a sub. All right, well, we were talking player props. Let's go around the horn one more time and get into everyone's favorite because there's so many things going on, so many plays to be had here. JaBron, let's start with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to, when we're talking about these, I want them to be some big,
payoffs.
Some big
plus
payoffs.
money
I'm
payoffs.
not throwing a lot of money on these, but I think they're just really good things to keep in the back of your head. If one of these hits, you have a good day.
Yeah.
So the thing that I'm going to put my, 25 to, $10 to $25 on, I believe it's going to be Travis Kelce having 2 touchdowns in this game, and that is at a plus 600 right now. And I believe that is just really good odds for somebody that is going to, I believe, get into the end zone and be a focal point for the Kansas City Chiefs. I get that everybody says, well, the eyes are on Kelce the entire time.
Yeah.
This guy's the leading frickin' receiver in the playoffs of the entire NFL. This guy's better than Jerry frickin' Rice.
He does. Statistically. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't want to start any fights.
That's what I just love that one plus 600. You never out of this bet no matter what with Kelce.
Nope. And plus, when he gets down around the goal line, he goes off script, and Mahomes just knows where he's going to be.
Yep.
I think that's a clever play there.
First you came for Troy Aikman, and now Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
But, no, I like Kelce as well, and this is something that if we think that this is going to be the biggest night of his life, and we've talked about what the things could happen after the game, during the game.
Yep.
If he gets one catch, one reception per quarter, plus 175.
Ooh,
so
that.
if he's a guy that is
Plus
going to
money.
be
Yep.
very active and a big part of a Chiefs win,
Yep.
I got 100% see that happen.
Yeah, I love that. That's 4 catches, 1 in every quarter. Obviously, they have
Yep.
to possess the ball, but there's no reason that shouldn't hit. And every drive they're going to be looking his way, and he's going to be amped up as well.
Yeah, especially if you think if this is retirement game,
This could be.
he's going to put it all out
He
there.
could walk off.
Very, very well could. We haven't done any defensive props yet.
Yeah.
And I might just put this in my back pocket for a parlay, work it in there to a 3 or 4, whatever legger. But Jaden Hicks, the draft pick rookie for the Chiefs, he has quietly become the starter for all intents and purposes at safety.
Yep.
Played over 70% or near 70% of the snaps last couple of games here in the playoffs.
Correct.
And his total tackles made is only at 3.5. Has Saquon Barkley ever broke a tackle and gotten to the second level?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's a yes.
And even if you load the box up, that's going to put him right in the mix, and he's playing all these snaps. And the Chiefs have done this where at the beginning of the year, these type of players, these role players, they just slowly come along, get coached up, and work themselves into a spot where it's a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We got the young legs in there. Let's go. I like Jaden Hicks going over 3.5 made tackles here.
I love it.
You can't say that that's not going to happen. So I like that a lot, Andy.
So, all right, well, let's get into the main event here. Currently, we have Kansas City Chiefs as a 1.5 point favorite. Yes, this line has moved a little bit, but it has really settled down at that 1.5 as of late. It's really hard to go against the Chiefs, even though I believe if you go player for player, spot for spot, Philadelphia might have the better roster.
Yeah, I mean that's where you got to start at is should the Chiefs actually be favoring this game, and I don't think so. On paper, Philadelphia has a better game, a better team. They've looked dominant in their in their playoff wins, especially last week in the NFC Championship. Maybe against maybe a little bit of a lesser or a Cinderella story than Josh Allen and the Bills, obviously for Mahomes, but I think this is going to be a really good game, obviously, but I think Philadelphia's ground game is going to control the pace of this game. Eagles defense, I think, are going to be able to generate stops every once in a while, and man, is this really tugging at me. I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
So do you like that money line bet then?
Yes.
Give it up. Don't worry about the point and a half.
If you're doing anything with the way that I'm looking at this is you got to try and maximize your guys' chance to win money.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to blow anybody out in this game. That's why you got to look at props and you got to look at margin of victory stuff on your books that you're going to bet at. Because Chiefs by 1 to 6 points is at a plus 240 right now. That should be your bet if you're going to bet the Kansas City Chiefs. 1 to 6 points plus 240. You flip that on the Eagles, 1 to 6 points plus 250. That is going to be my bet for the Super Bowl. The Eagles win by 1 to 6 points for a plus 250 bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really talk too much smack on, and I like the money line at a plus 100 for the Eagles if I'm going that way.
Yeah.
Jeremy, where are you at?
Even though it's the Super Bowl, even though you kind of throw away a lot of the stuff that's happened throughout the season, I like to look at the trends. I like to look at the data, and when I'm looking at 1.5 towards Kansas City. Working against the spread, the Eagles have been 13-7 throughout the entire season against the spread versus Kansas City, who's 9-10.
Right.
I love that
they
half
just win.
point.
They don't
right.
cover.
I love that half point. I'm going to live on that half point and say that the Eagles are going to cover. I don't know that it's going to go that way, right? The Chiefs have just been magical this year. I like the Eagles to cover it just because that's what the data shows me. And it's just been an odd year.
Right. It's odd to say, but the Chiefs have been underwhelming, but they've only lost 2 games.
Right.
And one they forfeited.
Yeah.
They've only lost 1 game to the Buffalo Bills. And that's the
100%.
only time that everybody played and they were trying to win the game.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get into this total because that really hasn't moved much at all. It opened up at 49.5, has been bet down to 48.5. I've heard a lot of pundits and guys and this and that going on both ways here. I do want to throw one thing out there, something to chew on here. The Philadelphia Eagles have only had A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith for 6 games this year.
Yeah.
When they have those 3 on the field, they've scored 33 points or more.
Yeah.
So all 3 of those guys are out there. We've seen a pretty good run here as of late from Goddard. A.J. Brown's been up and down, you could say, these playoffs, but this is the Super Bowl, 2 weeks off, all those things. I'll go out there. I like the over.
I'm glad you said that. I love the over, especially looking at the past of how high scoring the Super Bowl was in 2023. I believe a lot of the same key components are there. I believe this is going to be run up the score. Somebody wins by 3 at the end. I just believe it's going to be flipped this time, but the over is the play to. I think it's the play to go.
So you guys both like the over. I'm going to be the redhead stepchild, and I'm going to take the under. The data shows me that both teams have hit the over less than 50% throughout the season.
Sure.
The last 5 out of last 6 Super Bowls have hit the under. The only outlier, again, Kansas City versus Philly.
There's 2 teams.
This is going to be a really close game. I like the under.
The Chiefs, as a season average, they're right there at about 24 points per game. And they've only eclipsed 30 points 3 times this season. Now you're facing, in a lot of regards, the number 1 overall defense in the NFL and the Eagles. So, I go back and forth on this total. The line is so sharp, and you see that because there wasn't much movement. Yep. And you could see multiple paths to hitting the under.
Yeah.
Also, slow start, whatever the case may be, players don't make plays. Or we talked about in that very opening segment where, like, Andy Reid will just feel you out for 3 quarters and then just turn it on in the fourth.
Out.
Yeah, so then but even if the Chiefs do that, they can still get the over.
No doubt about it.
They can just pile on the points so fast.
It's really the over really depends on the Eagles scoring points because the Chiefs will have to turn it up faster and keep pace with them.
Yep. So, okay, we got an under. We got 2 overs here. Anything tricky, anything kind of zany? I think we just overall winner, you have the Eagles. Why?
Yeah, I just believe that running game is going to control the game. I believe that they're going to load up against them. I don't think it matters. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are the better team here. I believe they win late. Do not leave any time on the clock, because if you do, Mahomes is going to figure out how to do it. So do not leave any time on the clock. I believe they're going to run it out. I really like those margin of victory bets. If you're out there, look on your sports book for margin of victory. Either way that you are, you're getting so much more value for those bets when you go Chiefs by 1 to 6 points or Eagles by 1 to 6 points. That's what it's going to be. One of these teams is going to win by a slight margin. Yeah,
this is going to be a close game, and that's great. It's great for the audience, and it's great for both teams. It just shows kind of the level of talent there. But I like the Eagles to cover it. Like I said, I like the Chiefs to probably win it because I think it's going to be an all-time night.
You were really threading the needle there.
Yeah, this is it's going to be an all-time night for Travis Kelce. I mean, I think Travis Kelce is going to be the MVP of the game.
Woo!
And which is going to give him, like 16-1, 18-1 odds there.
Yep.
That will give him the platform to be able to do what we think will happen. What some of us do is the proposal to Miss Swift. So I do think that it's going to be a big night for him.
Yeah, and I'll kind of back that a little bit. Maybe not as big time, but I do think the Chiefs get the victory here. And no matter what you do, you always leave enough time on for Mahomes for whatever reasons. Go back to that AFC Championship game. 13 seconds. Just crazy what you're able to do, or what the Chiefs have been able to do on this run. And that's where I see the hugest edge here, the coaching edge and the quarterback edge. It's not a knock against Jalen Hurts too. Like, just settle down, Philly fans.
Yeah.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes here,
maybe the greatest player of all time,
right?
And Andy Reid, maybe the
greatest coach of all time. So I just think that's a huge slant. And do the Chiefs get calls? Will they get a call here and there?
I haven't seen them get one yet.
You add it all up in the football gods. I think they're on the side of the Chiefs. So give me the Chiefs, and I like the 1.5. They're going to cover that.
Heck yeah! Either way you go, I love it. Either way, this is going to be one of the best Super Bowls I believe in recent memory, if not just like the one that they played before.
Alrighty, Parlay Pounder.
That's it. That's it.
You just had the parlay.
I gave it. I had the underdog one. That's it.
The prop.
But make sure you look at those margin of victory. That is my hugest value of the entire Super Bowl. Those plus 250, plus 260 bets right now, 1 to 6. Look at those if you're trying to make some money on the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, that'll about do it for us this week in our Super Bowl extravaganza. Would you call it that?
Yeah.
I think 100%. So. I think so.
We
Jeremy,
threw a lot at him.
Thanks again for joining the old program.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Of course.
You betcha. For Jeremy, JaBron, my name's Andy Classen. This has been Where's the Line? WTL.